Chapter 8. Tom took a room at the Miramare. It was 4 o'clock by the time he got his suitcases up from the post office, and he had barely the energy to hang up his best suit before he fell down on the bed. The voices of some Italian boys who were talking under his window drifted up as distinctly as if they had been in the room with him, and the insolent cackling laugh of one of them, bursting again and again through the pattering syllables, made Tom twitch and writhe. He imagined them discussing his expedition to Senor Greenleaf and making unflattering speculations as to what might happen next. What was he going to do here? He had no friends here, and he didn't speak the language. So suppose he got sick. Who would take care of him? Tom got up, knowing he was going to be sick, yet moving slowly because he knew just when he was going to be sick, and that there would be time for him to get to the bathroom. In the bathroom, he lost his lunch, and also the fish from Naples, he thought. He went back to his bed and fell instantly asleep. When he awoke groggy and weak, the sun was still shining, and it was 5:30 by his new watch. He went to a window and looked out, looking automatically for Dickie's big house and projecting terrace among the pink and white houses that dotted the climbing ground in front of him. He found the sturdy reddish balustrade of the terrace. Was Marge still there? Were they talking about him? He heard a laugh rising over the little din of street noises, tense and resonant, as if it had been a sentence in American. For an instant he saw Dickie and Margie as they crossed the street between houses on the main road. They turned a corner, and Tom went to his side window for a better view. There was an alley by the side of the hotel just below his window, and Dickie and Marge came down it. Dickie in his white trousers and terracotta shirt, Marge in a skirt and blouse. She must have gone home, Tom thought, or else she had clothes at Dickie's house. Dickie talked with an Italian on the little wooden pier, gave him some money, and the Italian touched his cap, then untied the boat from the pier. Tom watched Dickie help Marge into the boat. The white sail began to climb behind them to the left. The orange sun was sinking into the water. Tom could hear Marge's laugh and a shout from Dickie in Italian towards the pier. Tom realized he was seeing them on a typical day, a siesta after the late lunch, probably then the sail in Dickie's boat at sundown, then aperitifs at one of the cafes on the beach. They were enjoying a perfectly ordinary day, as if he did not exist. Why should Dickie want to come back to subways and taxis and starched collars and a 9-to-5 job, or even a chauffeured car and vacations in Florida and Maine? It wasn't as much fun as sailing a boat in old clothes and being answerable to nobody for the way he spent his time, and having his own house with a good-natured maid who probably took care of everything for him, and money, besides, to take trips if he wanted to. Tom envied him with a heartbreaking surge of envy and self-pity. Dickie's father had probably said in his letter the very things that would set Dickie against him, Tom thought. How much better it would have been if he had just sat down in one of the cafes down at the beach and struck up an acquaintance with Dickie out of the blue. He probably could have persuaded Dickie to come home eventually, if he had begun like that, but this way it was useless. Tom cursed himself for having been so heavy-handed and so humorless today. Nothing he took desperately seriously ever worked out. He found that out years ago. He let a few days go by, he thought. The first step, anyway, was to make Dickie like him. Then he wanted more than anything else in the world.